Doom scrolling is addictive. It happens to so many of us. Me, you, our parents, even our kids. You start doom scrolling at bedtime, and before you know it, it's 3 a.m., just a few short hours before the sun rises. Sure, you feel good while you're watching funny reels and relatable memes, but deep down you regret it because you've compromised your sleep. Research shows that the average person spends about 143 minutes on social media every single day. That's roughly 10% of a day. And in those 2 hours of scrolling, you'll come across videos like these.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here.
You can actually earn a living without working a job.
You start wondering to yourself, how do these people who keep popping up in ads become rich? The reality is, out of 100,000 people, only one might succeed. The rest fail. Even after buying those discounted $100 courses that seem so convincing, promising to guarantee riches. But what about the one successful person doing the side hustles that these gurus talk about? Well, they have something most of us don't, and that is obsession. Whether it's becoming rich, a successful writer, a famous athlete, or a well-known entrepreneur, obsession is key. There's only one way to achieve greatness, and that's through obsession. The kind of obsession that makes you willing to risk everything. Your time with friends, your partner, your well-being, even your life to reach your goal. Every person faces a moment in life when they must choose between what's meaningful and what's easy. It's in that moment when the path of dreams and freedom calls out to you, but something else also pulls you in the opposite direction. That something else is the path of predictability and security. But for those who truly embrace their dreams and yearn for freedom, it becomes all-consuming. It takes over their mind, drives their decisions, and shapes their entire life. This pursuit isn't about seeking happiness or pleasure. It's about the belief that without this dream, whether it's freedom, or in my case, financial freedom, life would lose its meaning. But chasing this dream also comes with a price. It could be small, or it could be immense. Relationships might crumble, comfort could fade, and in the most extreme cases, the dream itself might demand more than you ever anticipated. Viktor Frankl once wrote, "Those who have a why to live can bear almost any how." A person with a purpose can endure anything because that purpose gives their life meaning. Without it, life feels lost, like a ship drifting across the ocean with no clear direction. But with a dream, there's purpose, and with purpose comes direction. There will be struggles, rough seas, and storms along the way, but in pursuit of a dream, suffering becomes something you can bear. The dream itself is what transforms hardship into something meaningful and gives you the strength and resolve to keep moving forward, even when everything seems to be working against you. Often, as people chase that dream, that freedom, they lose themselves. There's a saying in Buddhism, obsessed to the point of self-destruction. It's a warning about the dangers of unchecked ambition. You see, when a dream becomes too consuming, it can lead to ego inflation, a state where a person disconnects from their true self, believing they're invincible or superior to others. Not all, but some of the wealthy pursue their dreams with such an all-consuming obsession that it becomes their undoing. Think money laundering, drug trafficking, labor exploitation, environmental destruction, market manipulation, and fraud. They'll stop at nothing to achieve their goals. Yet this relentless pursuit of wealth and power often spirals into destruction, not just for those they exploit, but for themselves as well. Their obsession blinds them to the human cost of their actions, leading them to sacrifice morality, relationships, and even their own humanity. Some may live with guilt, while others may not, but they will forever look over their shoulder until they take their final breath. In their quest for greatness, they become trapped in a cycle of greed, leaving devastation in their wake. Their dream, once a symbol of hope, now turns into a source of ruin. Hopefully, as you pursue your own dream, you'll choose a different path. This inflated sense of self can warp their perception of reality, blinding them to their limitations and leaving them vulnerable to failure. Over time, this disconnection often leads to isolation, a lack of self-awareness, and ultimately, the collapse of their ambitions as they lose sight of the balance needed for true growth and fulfillment. They can also consume us if pursued without self-awareness or balance. It's possible that a dream can become a dark obsession. For example, Eren from Attack on Titan is a striking example of this fragile balance. His journey demonstrates how ambition and the pursuit of freedom can drive greatness but also lead to destruction when the cost is too high. Eren's story is one of defiance, sacrifice, and ultimately transformation. From the very beginning, Eren had one overwhelming goal: true freedom for his people, the Eldians. This dream wasn't just a desire, it was his reason for living. Without freedom, Eren believed life was meaningless, a cage with no escape. His drive was born from witnessing unimaginable loss and enduring years of oppression. His relentless will and charisma rallied allies to his cause. These were people who believed in his vision, who saw him as the one destined to break the chains of oppression. They fought alongside him, inspired by his unwavering resolve. But beneath their admiration, Eren bore a heavy burden. His dream wasn't just for himself. It was for an entire people. He carried their hopes, their pain, and their future on his shoulders. To him, his friends and comrades were precious, but they were also necessary to achieve his dream. As his mission grew darker and the stakes higher, he began to view himself not as their equal, but as their protector, a burdened hero who would do whatever was necessary. Everything changed when Eren realized that freedom wasn't a gift, it was something that had to be taken. The enemy wasn't just an outside force, it was the system that perpetuated endless cycles of hatred and violence. To break those chains, Eren made a choice that no one else could. He chose to sacrifice his relationships, his morality, and even his humanity. In his final act, Eren carried out a devastating plan, knowing it would forever tarnish his name and isolate him from those who he loved the most. He believed that the only way to secure freedom for the Eldians was to bear the weight of hatred for the world. By sacrificing himself and his parents, becoming the enemy, he hoped to create a future where his people could finally live free. Eren's journey is more than a tale of ambition. It's a reflection on the cost of pursuing a dream without compromise. His rise to power and ultimately his sacrifice reveals the heights that can be reached through relentless determination, but also the dangers of losing oneself in the process. His journey reveals a deep truth about ambition. Greatness always comes with a cost, even if it meant becoming a monster in the eyes of the world. Dreams, when pursued without balance, can consume everything we are. Eren's story may be extreme, but it holds valuable lessons for anyone chasing a vision. The first step is discovering what that dream is. The second is committing to it with everything you have, without letting it destroy you in the process. A dream is powerful, but it shouldn't consume everything you are. Chasing a dream is not a sprint, it's a relentless journey. It's filled with highs and lows, victories and sacrifices, and along the way, you may question if the price is even worth it. For Eren, the answer was always the same: keep moving forward. Even when the path ahead of him was unclear, even when it demanded everything he had, his dream of freedom for his people burned brighter than any doubt. Eren's story is both a warning and a testament to the raw power of conviction. It shows us the destructive potential of a dream pursued without balance, but also the unyielding strength of an obsession to change the world. Eren was willing to sacrifice not just his life, but his relationships, his morality, and even the way history would remember him, all for a future he might never live to see. So, as you think about your own dreams, ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice? How far are you willing to go? And then, can you chase the dream without losing yourself, or will you let the dream consume you as it did Eren? Life without purpose is empty, but purpose without balance leads to devastation. Eren's pursuit of greatness wasn't about finding freedom for himself at all costs. It was about achieving it for others, even if it meant bearing the weight of the world's hatred. He lived and died guided by his dream, yet his story forces us to ask, is the pursuit of a dream freedom worth losing everything, including yourself.